Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Breakfast Daily, and now it's time for us to get into the news review segment and delve into the issues that are gripping the nation, and of course, that are sparking debate across the country. And I'm not going to be doing this alone. I have an expert panel of media personalities, Larry Dogbe, who's the managing editor at the Herald newspaper, and Richard Mensah, who is the head of programs production right here at City FM. You are all welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we have different topics that we are going to be delving into, from the fight, from the ongoing fight of illegal mining that, you know, it's causing a spark nationwide, and also to organized labor threatening us with a strike, and also some issues concerning the anti-LGBTQ bill, and of course, the Democracy Hub protest. So do not forget that you are part of this conversation. So feel free to send in your comments, your thoughts, and your opinions via the WhatsApp number on the screen, and we will get to read it on the show. So let's delve straight into the first topic, which is we will proceed with nationwide strike, and that's by organized labor. And I'm going to be reading a story on ChannelOneNews.com. Galamsey, our strike notice remains unchanged, and that's by the Organized Labor. Organized Labor has reaffirmed its decision to proceed with the planned industrial action scheduled for Thursday, October 10, despite appeals from President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to reconsider the strike. The union is pushing for President Akufo-Addo to declare a state of emergency on illegal mining and implement lasting solutions to the issue, which they argue is causing significant harm to the country. Speaking to the press in Accra on Monday, the Secretary General of the Trades Union Congress, as the TUC, Joshua Ansam, stated that the union remains resolute in its decision to strike if substantial measures are not taken by the government before the ultimatum expires. I quote, "Our strike remains unchanged. I want to repeat, the strike notice remains unchanged. We are of the view that what the government has proposed to do does not adequately address our demands, and therefore our notice of the strike remains unchanged," he stated. Meanwhile, some members of organized labor from Technical Universities Teacher Association of Ghana, TU or TUTAG, and other groups say they were not consulted by their leadership before the declaration was made. A fraction calling itself concerned members of organized labor insist that though it is against illegal mining activities, the approach used by the leadership to announce the strike was not proper. And the story continues there, so if you want to go and check it out, go to ChannelOneNews.com, and there you can check it out. All right. So let's get straight into the story. Right now, obviously, they are not backing down, even though the president has pleaded to them. It's clear that they are not backing down. And on Thursday, we might be seeing a strike by organized labor. And what are your thoughts on this? Let me start with you, Richard.
Well, like organized labor has said, they will embark on the demonstration or their strike, regardless of what the government is saying. But you see, many things have led us to this place. So I would like to put in perspective, yesterday, you know, immediately after their press conference to announce their intention, government released a statement signed by the information minister. Coincidentally, the information minister is part of the group that the president put together by the September, when the organized labor came up with this. So the president put together a group of ministers, I think she was part, and they were supposed to liaise with organized labor and then come up with whatever. Now, if you listen to our interactions both on air with organized labor, they say that for instance, yesterday when the matter came up that, well, the president has set up this very particular group, they said, well, after their first meeting, this same committee, which a member has found it necessary to sign on to this statement, told them that we'll come back to you in a week's time. They never did. The people had given ultimatum. They said, by close of the month, if this and this do not happen, this is what we're going to do. It took, when was it? On the 3rd, so their ultimatum elapsed. It took on the 3rd of October for a meeting to be convened, a closed-door meeting with the president. Now, at that closed-door meeting, when they came out, obviously, because it was closed-door, nobody communicated. It was just a third statement from the ministry, once again, to say that there's been a meeting and there's been some things that have been agreed upon. I think one thing that came out prominently after that meeting, which was in the public domain, was that the president was asking for more time. Yesterday, when we spoke, Sanders spoke to Organized Labor, they said, well, that it looks like some misinformation. It was not more time. Now, you read the statement from government, which seeks to give us a clearer idea of what government agreed with Organized Labor there. And that is why I'll just oppose it against what Organized Labor asked in their September letter to, then you realize that Organized Labor have a cause to say that we have not been treated fairly, so we will still proceed. Now, government says here, following whatever, then he said the meeting discussed long-standing issues of illegal mining. Now, this is what is of concern to me. These are the things that from the statement I think they've agreed to. So government will collaborate with Organized Labor and other stakeholders in the fight against illegal mining. That's one. Two, government will take steps when Parliament reconvenes this month to revoke the Environmental Protection, that into bracket, Mining in Forest Reserve Regulation 2023 LI 2462. That's number two. Then three, government will ramp up its efforts, measures, particularly as it relates to prohibiting illegal mining in water bodies and forest reserve. This is very, very interesting. Now, this one says water bodies and forest reserves remain red zones for mining and all forms of mining in water bodies, as well as reconnaissance, prospecting, exploration, and all blah, 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 blah. Now, what this tells me, what this particular statement tells me is that government is saying that we are already fighting it. We are already doing it. So what you are asking, really, we don't really get it, what you are asking. But that is what happens when you want to politicize an issue that affects everybody. An issue, when it's affecting you, has no party colors attached to it. And that is the narrative, especially people in government are carrying around, that is leading us where we are. Immediately these people went for the meeting and they came out, then all sort of allegations started going around. They've gone for money, they've done this, they've done this, but they've forgotten that, and to ensure that you and our sane minds are disabled from commenting, that the thing was politicized. Okay, so the people behind this are the opposition party, and that when did we get to see that this is what was happening? Well, this statement tells you that you knew what was happening. And you see, we didn't get here by just waking up one day and then everybody realizing that, no, there's been one. Look, well, 2 years ago, we organized a water forum here. This same thing we are witnessing, Professor Gordon said it here, said, as for this illegal mining thing, is a thing of the mind. And that will get here very soon. And we've already gotten there. Now, see what Organized Labor asked. And that is why I support their stance. That now, Organized Labor, this was a statement they issued on the 11th of September. These were the things they were asking. They said an immediate declaration of state of emergency in line with the provisions of the 1992 Constitution. The declaration must incorporate the following: an order to halt all forms of mining, legal or illegal, in forest reserve and around water bodies. Immediate evacuation of all mining equipments in forest reserves and around water bodies. And then three, the deployment of the police and military with full orders to remove, destroy all mining equipments and other earth-moving equipment around river bodies and in the forest reserves. This was one of the main things they asked. They asked this because, be proud to this, in the statement, they had quoted what the Ghana water company, their fears were and what they were stating. Now, this one, you just oppose it against this very particular release from government, which seeks to say that these were the things that they agreed to, and therefore, in the part of the release says that they are surprised that the organized labor is going. This very particular, none of it was addressed here. Sure. Rather, they were telling us that water bodies and they remain red zones. We knew that it was red zones, but what was happening there?
Exactly.
We knew it was red zone. What was happening there? On the Accra Kumasi Road, Konongo, yes, you know, you see, you pass through the town, you see.
Yeah.
But what was happening? And this is what organized labor says, that this must stop. And they prefer how it should be. This has not been answered. I think the only thing that comes close to what organized, part two of what you were asking was the immediate revocation of LI 2462. Now here you come and the government says we will take steps when Parliament reconvenes this month to revoke the environmental protection. We will take steps. Yes, that doesn't mean action. Yes. It means nothing. It's just words, English words that have been put together to confuse everybody. And I'm saying that for organized labor, yes, they are within their rights. Look, there can be dissenting views, but they are within their rights. Those who are dissenting, yes, but there's something called delegated power. You delegated them to go and deliberate on issues for you. So if they've issued that and you think you can't go, stay back. Stay back. You don't go. It's okay. It's okay if you don't want to go, because maybe you don't see the problem. But the fact that you don't see the problem doesn't mean that all of us do not see it. We see it, we see the problem, and something must really happen. And all the three things that government has listed of doing and all these things doesn't speak to the heart of the matter. The heart of the matter is that as we speak now, there are still people who are mining in our waterways, and some of them have licenses to do so. True. And some of them, they are doing it illegally, but nobody is acting. The state actors who are supposed to come together to ensure that this does not happen doesn't seem to be doing anything about it. And a typical example was yesterday when the Minerals Commission appeared before. Listen, you, the one mandated to do everything, were coming to tell me that the institution telling us on live TV that they even had some illegal miners at behind a certain police station. They went to tell the police and nothing was done. So if you are telling me, so I go and drink tea and clap for you. Why are you telling me? Because you know what to do. You know what to do. He
actually said the police is in charge of,
you know what to do. What it tells you is that all these state institutions are dysfunctional. Because if he had to take the Minerals Commission was to come and complain, come and tell me a problem that I don't have the capacity to intervene. You as the Minerals Commission can determine when you've given somebody's license and the person is either going overboard or something. You can determine. I will not be able to determine. What I can determine is that when I see the water being polluted in that manner, that I can say that this water is polluted.
Yes.
Because I can see that. Now you, the one who is able to evaluate and say that this person is doing illegal thing, you are now crying that they are doing it behind a police station. So we should gather there and then go and clap for them. No, what we have the labor unions asking is that the president should ensure that the full state of the full force of the presidency should come to bear on this matter. That when we say let's stop this and then let's reevaluate our way of doing things so we don't create a problem for all of us. Because the problem is already being created. We listened to some pathologists, we spoke to some pathologists at Konfanoche, and we were saying that nowadays some of the cases they get, they can clearly link it to, because the people come from such mining communities. So the effects are already upon us. So this, we want to collaborate, use English, plenty English, I don't know, plenty English like that. Then you don't even know what to do, really.
Yeah, yeah.
We are only left with some I think some few days to elections or something. So as for the issue of time, no. But the issue in terms of acting, yes, we can act. If today they want to act, they will act.
Yes. Yeah.
They will act. When this fight started and organized labor, including all the other groups, came together to do this. When was it? Last week or so, when the illegal miners went to, I think somewhere in the eastern region, I think for the Brim.
Yeah, last week.
People were still doing the thing. They were doing. They bent some champagnes, and it tells you how intransigent we can be sometimes, because people are hearing it, but they are doing it because they know that nothing will happen. They know that at the end we will come and write big English, big Oxford English. Read stuff you don't understand, then we leave it at that because no action. Now, if those people who were caught last week on that stream had the slightest sense that, look, for this one, government is serious, do you think they will be there?
No.
Do you think they will be there? And even say when they went, they say, yeah, funny story, the people swam and then ran away, and then they just caught one person. So you went there unprepared when you knew very well the challenge at hand. It's time for the government to act, and I think in the beginning, probably because of the narrative around that, some people who are behind it and all that, government didn't take labor serious, and then all of a sudden they tried, for some people, trying to undermine organized labor and all that. But this is where we are now,
right?
And something must be done.
Right. So Larry, how feasible is this strike, especially in the current economic climate? Won't it affect workers? Won't it affect you and I?
Yeah, good morning. I think that already we are affected by the water situation. We are affected by health. We are affected economically. We are affected socially. We are affected in so many ways. You get it? And so I think the strike is long overdue. It's long overdue. I would have encouraged a demonstration before even the strike, isn't it? Because then the demonstration would have said, pictures speak volumes. That would have been, and then later you follow up with the strike. But I mean, we had gone beyond the press conferences, threats of what, and then president invites people, closed door meeting, statement upon statement, calling media boys on the side and giving them stories, saying that this is what had been discussed during the meeting, the closed door meeting. What exactly was discussed? Why must it be a closed door meeting even in the first place? Open your doors. If you are indeed committed, if you claim you love Ghana, you believe in Ghana, that was one of the battle cries during the election 2016. That you believe in Ghana, everything Ghana, you believe in it. Or my yena yejisi ho anase ye papa num anase ye nana num energy or mine see ho. Unfortunately, you might not get the message, but it's essentially saying that, you know what, we are we are the guys who, let's say, our forebears fought for this country and made it what it is today. And you are living it with polluted water, economic destruction. I keep saying that, you see, along that river, the value chain is deep. The fishermen are there, the fishmongers are there, the water sellers, are there, the farmers are on that, around that area. Okay? And so you are encouraging others to go into that water, pollute it in search of gold, their economic whatever. But then the others who are also profiting from there, for them you don't care.
Right.
For them you don't care. When I was coming out, I was listening to City News, where the Bank of Ghana governor.
Governor is
Talking
saying
about export is increased, the economic fundamentals are very strong, the economy is robust, so and this is better than it was, before and so on. And I'm asking myself, I mean, I hear there's, our yam has been flagged.
Yeah.
Our cocoa will be flagged very soon if we don't do what is right. I don't know what's happening to our pineapple or other fruits, whatever it is that we are exporting. But the man says, everything is robust, unless, of course, we are not communicating with ourselves or we are not being truthful. Then we can go on that, claim and believing in our own lie. You can believe in your own lie.
Yeah. You can like to hear your own voice.
Yeah. You can lie to yourself. And I think that is where we are now. Because see, in all this, today's daily graphic talks about how government rolls out radical measures. And it has to do with Galamsey crack. So I saw the president's picture, and then I wanted to read the story. Only for me to see that it was an interview granted by the Minister for Forestry and Mines, and not the president. So the president hasn't spoken.
On this issue?
No, he hasn't.
True.
He hasn't. He's spoken about everything but this one. He's spoken about how he's not corrupt. How a certain political party is trying to paint his family as corrupt, or it's after the family and so on. But he hasn't spoken about Galamsey. Now, what I pick up is this, that some of this, his refusal to act is because he feels disappointed that all the measures he put in place by way of the Galam stop, so and so stop, that and that stop, and all that, and all the money that was sunk into it, nothing has come up.
Do you think it's about just disappointment, or probably if he pushes it, it might have a ripple effect on Bahumia's campaign?
Oh, no, but you see, I have heard many people make the argument that, the thing has been politicized. Listen, let's go back to the basic definition of what politics is. Harold Laswell defined politics as who gets what, when, and how.
Right. So we are all political animals.
Exactly, we are a political animal. Is that Aristotle?
Yeah.
So, whatever decision you make would affect me. Indeed, it was based on politics that we voted for you, demanding that you should share the resources of this country equally and fairly. And by resources, it means that human resource going down to take care of a certain situation that threatens us. So if you decided not to act, meanwhile money is going, you are sitting there taking the largesse of the state, driving, the best of whatever, being on whatever medical care. They can fly you anytime.
Right.
Indeed, as we speak, somebody is in the US undergoing medical treatment. He is not going to be the one paying. The Ghanaian taxpayer will bear that. The best of medical care. So when you are in that office, you need to rise up to the occasion. I've heard what's his name, the Minerals Commission guy, as usual, passing the back. Oh, blame the security agencies, don't blame us. There is others are doing the work very well. They are being diligent and so on. Yet they haven't come up with one single name or one single company, for us to believe that, company A or company B is doing so well. However, company C and D are bad.
In fact, as for that argument, it doesn't need to come in at all. Because where we are, we want to deal with a particular problem. So we don't need you to come and tell us that others are doing it well.
Exactly.
Forget about that. Why? It's like justifying the process of a drug cartel.
Yes.
That they are using it to at least look after the community. So then it shouldn't be criminalized.
Again.
And that there are others who are not using it for the benefit of the community. So we should go after them. No, we've seen the problem. The problem is that some people are mining irresponsibly in our water bodies and in our forests. And we have seen the effects See, you see, this is not something you sit somewhere and then you
told
imagine.
you.
No,
Yeah.
we've
Yeah,
seen
we
the
have seen
effects.
Pictures of it.
Yeah.
We've seen the effects, including
okay.
Ghana Water complaining. So now what do we do about it? Let's address that before you come back and say that the
You
people
see,
are doing...
There have been instances where the president or parliament was summoned under, a certificate of emergency. Okay. So you don't tell us that, we'll be doing when they reconvene.
Yeah, so you can actually...
Just recently, when Parliament went for a recess, they were reconvened.
You get it?
When the majority side signed on to that they want, and they reconvened to pass some loans.
So clearly, these are not a group of people who are interested in addressing the issue. Anytime there's, ahead of this meeting with the president, quickly Ghana Water issued a statement. That, the water, the turbidity...
That's for Cape Coast.
Yeah, that's for Cape Coast. That was issued during the Fetua Fashe. Okay? Suddenly everything is getting normal. And then when they asked, the amount of turbidity that was asked, that they mentioned, was still even out of range.
They from 12,000 to 9,000, which is also not good.
Which is not good. Okay? Now, organized labor announced that, their decision to strike still remains. Quickly, the daily graphic has been called and the interviews granted, and that is banner that we are supposed to deal with. Okay? Then
so it's basically like still what OJ said.
Yeah.
Government rolls out, radical measures. So it's more like more English.
Yeah.
Because where is the radical measures? What are we seeing?
More words put together, but no action.
So the Minister for Mines is talking, who is a member of the task force, has granted an interview. Then the Minister for Information, who is also a member of the same task force, has also issued a press statement. And in there, I'm sure if we subject it to some critical analysis, we could see some,
patterns.
Yeah, and the pattern could just suggest as a knee-jerk reaction, sway the people's mind, tell them that, listen, don't participate in there. Listen, the bit about those in Kumasi, saying that, listen, they shouldn't, the organized labor shouldn't do that. See, Kumasi, Galamsey is not happening in Accra. The heart of Galamsey, Ashanti region can be mentioned as one. Okay? To a point where Otufo has distilled some chiefs.
Some chiefs, yeah.
The MPP regional chairman is neck deep involved in Galamsey. And so if you are there, part of organized labor, part of TUTAC or whatever you call yourself, and all you are doing is that, listen, you are undermining whatever leadership is doing. You should have your head properly examined. Because, the pollution of water and what it means to a society like that, your children, everything, livestock, food, everything. You should be worried. You shouldn't be doing such a thing. You should give it your support.
And you see, it doesn't need to happen at where you are to be able to
Precisely.
Recently on the ChannelOne community forum, when we went to Shama, there's no Galamsey happening in Shama. But guess what? That is where the pra enters the sea. Now the people living in Shama are feeling the effect because they've been depending on the water, on the river. Now somebody has done his Galamsey somewhere. But see, they are having the effects there, right there. Like you wake up and you are like, but I didn't participate in this. How do I prevent it? And that is why we are asking that, look, the state organizations mandated to do this must be up and doing. So far, I've not heard any drastic thing from the water resources minister, environment minister, environment, science and technology innovation.
She actually spoke
yesterday. For me, let me tell you, I will respect organized labor more if they are able to call for the dismissal of certain individuals. You just don't go and submit a petition and then walk away, do something about our water, and then you go and sleep. Demand for some resignations. Right. Those who are responsible.
They should demand for accountability.
Yes, exactly. But beyond beyond, yeah, you are striking. Then after that, demonstration. Then what else?
Anyway, keep that
What
question.
else?
Let's keep that question. Let's take a quick break, and we will be back with the news review segment.